Hey guys, welcome to Sunday Funday episode, a double A. This is yours truly, Arianne
Not my truth.
and Amber.
Y'all, I'm wearing some lipstick for you. Orange usually the makeup girl, but today I felt like wearing lipstick.
So
Look
right
at my
now, yeah, she's in her little living space, nice and clean living space. I'm in my dining room because I am rolling egg rolls for some person that apparently wants egg rolls every single time I come down there.
Who would
I
want
swear
that?
I make more egg rolls more often than I think a lot of my family members. But
And
anyway, so today guys, we got something interesting to talk about. Something super interesting.
we
And
got
that
hoes
is,
in the house.
huh?
There's some hoes in the house. Sorry, Cardi and Megan is in my head.
So we are going to be talking about sex and BDSM. Whoa. You like ghosted there for a second. Oh no.
I'm gonna quit playing with y'all.
So yeah, so sex and BDSM and
My camera.
in this past okay, wait. Even though we're talking about sex and BDSM, we don't want the camera right there all the time. Okay. We're just not gonna do that today. I'm covered up.
Hold on. Oh.
Let her adjust her camera. And
Okay.
for our anchor listeners, no. Our anchor listeners, you just have to tune in and go to our Facebook/doubleacrimefiles to see what we're seeing right now. She's messing with her green screen. But anyway, so yes, we are talking about sex and BDSM today. If you guys missed last week's episode, we actually talked lightly about it. Well, not really lightly, just like passerby mentioned. And so we're going to talk more about it. It is an interesting topic. Okay. So today's if you guys don't know what BDSM is a
variety of erotic practices or role playing.
Yeah, so it includes bondage, dominant, submissive,
Discipline and sadomasochism.
Yeah, masochism. So what happens is depending on what you like, and I'm sorry to say this, there's a lot of people that judge BDSM, but if you like having your hair pulled, you like having your not even like your wrist tied, but just pinned down with the guy on top of you, and like a little butt spanking, which
Wait a minute.
we know a little butt spanking, it's lightly into BDSM.
One of those things or all of those things qualify?
Even just a little bit of butt spanking, even if it's just a little butt spanking, you're into BDSM a little bit.
I always said I'm not a BDSM person, but girl, I'm a BDSM person.
You're lightly into it. So here's the thing. And a lot of the BDSM community, I said we. so
you just told me I'm a BDSM person, so I got to learn about the community that I did not know I was in since I've been.
So it just all depends on what you're into. A lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are you're very dominant in life. Like you're the leader, you're the boss, and you're like
all Leos? All Leos are dominant.
Basically. So believe it or not, if they're into BDSM, 90% of the time, they're going to be submissive. Here's the reason why. So submissives are known to give their dominant all the power. And what I mean by all the power, and a lot of people get scared when they hear that, and I will tell you that it's a lot, okay? So most of the time, they want to release their stress. They don't want to think about what they need to do next. They give all that power to the dominant, okay? So when most people are leaders in real life, out in society, they don't want to think when it comes to sex. They want to just be able to release and be good for once, for somebody to think about them and their needs.
I can agree with that.
So hence, here comes the dominant part, okay, or the dominant guy, person. So whether you're into a dominatrix, which is a woman dominant, or a male dominant, okay. So dominance and be good. They're known to give you what you want, but they also know what you want. They know in advance. They read your expressions. They read like your pulses. They'll see how you're breathing. They'll see like,
oh, they pay deep attention.
Yeah.
So this is more than just sex.
You have no. It's a lot of times people think BDSM is mostly sex. I can see that because you got the movies, you got the books, you've got all that. It's not. It just depends on the person, what you want, okay, what you're looking for. So these encounters are actually called scenes. So when you enter a scene, you are you're doing it willingly. And a lot of times before you enter a scene, you have a limit. So you have your hard limits, your soft limits, and then your go-tos. So your hard limits are a definite no-nos.
When you say limits, does that include safe words?
Yes.
Okay.
So most safe scenes, and I say most, I want to say that everybody practices it. The really good part of BDSM is that they do try to practice safe words. But of course, there's some few bad seeds in there that don't. Okay.
My
And
safe word is get the fuck off me.
So because here's the thing, they do safe words because sometimes your nose could actually be like a yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they do a safe word just in case. Once you have a yellow word, which is kind of like you're pushing the limit, so pull back a little bit. Yeah. So your yellow is basically like you're pushing it, so back off just a little bit. And most dominants will go to another route and see how they can get you to where you need to be without pushing it. And then your red safe word, okay, is your immediate stop right then and there, all scenes off.
I only know
like it stops. Okay, so you can pick 2 words, your yellow word, but you talk to your partner about this. Okay, this happens before the scenes.
So you have to have a dialogue.
No. They're just called scenes because you don't play it out in real life. Like, this is just sex. You know what I'm saying? Or this is just your play.
I'm gonna be honest. Before, like, I never knew the full extent of what BDSM is, but you dragged me along for the 50 Shades of Grey, and I popped in. Everybody watches porn, so I mean, I've explored a little bit on that, and everything that I saw, I could tell you, I was very much against BDSM because in my mind, seeing it from my point of view, not much knowing too much of the depth of the community, BDSM to me is just rape. That's how I saw it. And that's how I felt. And so when you had me watching 50 Shades of Grey, and everybody, all the women in the room were like in love with that bullshit, I'm over there feeling uncomfortable as hell. I'm like, this girl's getting raped, and y'all are
So here's the thing with that. Okay, a lot of the BDSM community actually hate 50 Shades of Grey because it puts a bad light on them. Because that's not what it is. Because it's all consensual. Everything happens before scenes. So a lot of them have relationships with their partners that are in the BDSM community.
like full on relationships, like
Yeah,
with
full-on relationships, so they know their partner hands off, like they know everything about them. Now, if you're starting off with a new partner, a lot of them prefer to do what I personally call safe scenes, which is not sex. It is just where you start exploring your your senses, basically. So do you like to be blindfolded? If you like being blindfolded, your partner will come in, do feathers, will do the light whips, just so you could feel it a little,
how is
feel
that
with the
sexy?
hand.
I need to know how somebody can view that as sexy. I gotta see things. If I'm blindfolded, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. If I'm handcuffed,
So, well, like I said, it just all depends on each person. So when someone is like that, the your partner will never start you off blindfolded. If you've ever felt that way, they will never ever start you off that way. They will start off with something that you're comfortable with, and then they will go towards, you guys will work together to overcome your fear of either being blindfolded or tied down.
this
Okay.
is interesting.
So that's the whole point with dominance. So dominance will push you to your limit, but they will never push you to something that you are uncomfortable with. When it's completely your hard limit, when I say like it's your hard limit, you cannot list all the stuff that you've never tried. And
It's not even if you like it, right?
I've told people this. I was like, look, if your hard limit, like,
Wait a minute.
I will say
Wait a
this
minute.
straight up. Hard limits mostly contains of anything that does complete harm. When it's blood play, when it's um
I had to stop you real quick. You said you told people. Are you a BDSM instructor?
no.
Where are you
But
having fun with that?
because okay, so it it all started, I was very, very interested in it, I would say. So
Tell it all, girl.
it got explored.
My camera just see the lion. Some camera flipped out. You're lying. Well, shoot, that didn't work.
So before
You lied. You broke my camera. You lied.
before I actually met my spouse, my partner, it was explored. It was very much so explored.
Wait. Does your spouse partner know this? Because my camera's
He
a lot
he
of things.
will now when he listens to it.
So I wonder how he feels about that, and I wonder how my
We've
husband feels
tried.
about knowing that we're technically in the BDSM
We've
community.
tried. Here's the thing. We've tried like BDSM. We've tried like BDSM.
Can you show your face?
Yes.
That. Show your face real quick. He's playing Call of Duty. It's Sunday. Call of Duty Day. But can you hear us good, Zach? So how do you feel knowing that we are in the BDSM community? Silence.
It's everybody, like I said, everybody gets scared of it, and I mean rightfully so. But I will tell anybody, you can't judge a person. If you happen to see just me rolling through, you will never think that I explored
Oh
it.
no. You look like you're just straight missionary girl.
Exactly. and I'm
You
not.
nasty.
You'll be surprised. So
I have a lot to. I have something. Well, something. Okay, guys, viewers and listeners. What I want to do
I
is,
really hope my family's not on here.
well, the cat's out the bag, and guess what, baby? We're grown, and if anybody's got a problem with anything that we gotta say, I mean, that's on them. So we're grown, and we are entitled to say and do what we want to say and do. At the end of the day, if they don't want to hear it, if they can't accept that you're grown, now's the time that they have to learn. Baby girl's grown, and she's nasty. But, but anyway, I wanted to tell the viewers and the listeners the main reason why we are talking about BDSM is not to glorify sex for on this platform and this podcast. We are talking about PDSP. What is P? BDSM, because in a lot of crime cases, it is linked. And we just want to let you know that we're unlinking it and letting you know the difference between full on BDSM and what is called lust murders. So people are thinking that these serial killers are in or practicing BDSM while they're killing, but it's completely different. It's called a lust murder.
They're just doing it to the utmost extreme and way far left of
Yeah,
what it actually is. Even though they say, oh, they experienced this BDSM and they did this, well, they may have, but that's not what the community is about.
right. So
They practice safe sex, they practice consensuality, they explore.
it's more of like a talking and get to know it. Is more in the BDSM is more of what are you okay with? Let's do it. Now, for um, for a lust murder, that is the most common in a serial killer, not just a regular murderer, but as a serial killer, they practice lust murder because the homicide in it gets them off. It gets them erect and it gets them ready to go. And then what they do is what we call sexually sadistic serial killers. So what they do is they do bits and pieces of BDSM, bits and pieces that are common, and they put it into their lust murder. So that's where the wires get crossed, and people think that people that are in BDSM are serial killers. That's not the case. Serial
And a
killers,
lot of people get scared because the S also stands for sadism.
yes, and a lot
And
of serial killers are sadistic.
yeah, and guys, they're not linked
Different.
together.
There's sadism can go many different ways. There's sexual sadism and then there's other sadism. So you have to break down what it is in the context. So if you're going over a crime and you're reading all the documents and you're getting your information together, do not be so quick to pull that word sadism and mark it as a BDSM thing, because that's not the case. You have to understand the difference between a sexually sadistic serial killer and the BDSM community. The difference between a lust murder and just having consensual sex in a foreplay way, a role playing foreplay way.
Yeah,
So that's
I
what
mean it's literally, you guys, like I said, a lot of people get scared of it, and rightfully so, because when it comes to sex, or when it comes to anything of that nature, a lot of people tend to back off when different things are involved, rather than, you know,
And
regular
I'm thinking
foreplay.
that's mainly because a lot of the killings involve bondage, and bondage is one of the main things that are in
And believe it or
BDSM.
not, a lot of the BDSM community, they prepare for the bondage scenes. And what I mean by prepare for it is they could be into BDSM for years and years and years, never have done bondage,
Right.
and they're building up to that lightly, whether it's just a little small hand scarf that you can tear off easily,
Hmm.
or and then they build up. But believe it or, I will tell you guys this, and I think I've told my spouse this, but
We're gonna find out.
my favorite part is ropes. Believe it or not, I love ropes.
Hmm.
So
Why?
this is coming from my mindset. Okay, so most most people, like I said, are scared of bondage, which is okay. And some people like to explore it. Some people find the beauty in it. So while I was like researching and and exploring these routes, like I said, before I met my spouse, this is way before I met my spouse. Okay. This is gonna be a little story time. So there was one person that loved ropes. I was terrified, believe it or not. I was terrified of it because anything that that makes me where I can't escape from
Yeah.
really quickly is very terrifying to the mind. So this person actually brought me step by step, like slowly, either made me tie his hands or tied my hands, but I was able to release it. Like he would teach me how to tie rope, essentially. Okay, so I was tying rope by myself. Eventually, we had went to a scene party. So
Hmm.
here's the thing with scene parties, guys, they're not orgies, but there are different scenes where the consensual partners allow public viewing of different scenes, just so people can walk around and see what these scenes are, and maybe they could try something or something that they've never thought of or were scared of, and they see someone else do it, whatever.
So people think
There's this one.
and listening to the story, y'all, I'm innocent.
So there's this one, okay, and this girl was about my build. So she was not thin at all. She was hanging, okay, but the ropes were so beautifully done. The and her partner made sure that she was totally okay. Like you can see it in her face that she actually enjoyed it. And you can, like, you know how sometimes when you're watching something cringy, like you see in their face that that's so awkward, they don't want to be there. But this person like did not want to get down from the ropes. Like,
So it looked like art.
yeah. So depending on the person, it actually can look like one. There's actually a lot of photographs of Japanese rope tying. And here's the thing though, the people who do it have done it for years and have mastered it. Not somebody that's just like, oh, well, I got a rope, I'm going to do this. That's not how it goes. They're specifically trained to do this kind
Y'all,
of stuff.
y'all gotta look out for the quiet ones. Arianne over here, nasty. Y'all talk about me because I'm blunt and I'm out there. I'm nothing like this. I'm really an angel with the
You
potty.
just you okay, so like when I had seen her, I literally, like, my partner at the time, okay, who shall not be named because I respect his privacy, but we're still friends and we're actually friends on Facebook.
And
So,
you're watching this right now.
probably. I don't know.
Hi,
Hey.
you
But anyways,
made my friend
so my my partner at the time, he said, because he seen me like noticing it, and like I was not watching any other scenes, honestly. Like she would be brought down, she would actually ask him to do another set of tying for her to be elevated. So like she was requesting all this stuff herself. So she would be
I
put
wish
in
we
different positions.
could.
Huh?
I wish we could share scenes on Facebook, but that would get us marked off
Yeah.
very bad.
So
'Cause I want to
um
see that.
so what my partner at the time was like, would you like to try? I was like, I was like, yeah, sure. But here's the thing, he was not mastered in the rope tying to that extent. So he actually, with my consent and with the other girl's consent, the girl who was hung up, her master actually was the one who tied me up. And this was
At the
with,
party?
no, not at the party. This happened like 2 weeks later, privately.
Wait, was this a foursome?
Huh?
Was this a foursome?
No, no, no,
Uh,
no.
Damn. I
This
thought it
this was
was
just, don't mind her. So
Mhm.
this was just um what is it called? This was just a
I like
I
it.
I want to try the tying. So I was fully clothed. My partner was there. Um, of course, the person who tied me up, and then the girl was there. We were all fully clothed. We were not dressing all sexy like everybody thinks. No, we
Like
were all in
Catwoman.
sweats. Believe it or not, we were all in sweats. Like I was in sweatpants and like a cardigan. She was in sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Like we just look, we were
And I was about
comfortable.
to clean the house. Oh, just tie me up.
No, it wasn't in a house. It was like, well, it was in a
What?
house.
What?
It was in the other guy's house.
What were you doing outside of the tree?
No, some people, there's actually like studios that
Because they
they'll
really
go.
see this as art. I mean, I can see
Yeah.
how it could be seen as art. Just like
Well, it's
strippers
they
could be
also
seen as
need
art.
like really strong beams to be able to suspend you up in the air. So, first they got to tying of the hands. Like I said, he made sure that I can see how he tied the hands, um, and how I can get rid of them. Like he would tie my hands, tell me, okay, well now you tie me exactly how I tied you. So just so I can know the ins and outs of each rope skill, essentially. So then when um, that was done, it took it took about a month for me to actually be suspended. It was that weekend it was just simple rope tying. The next weekend it was rope tying top wise. The weekend after it was full body, just like me standing, full body rope tying. And then the weekend after it was full suspension. But like again, all this time we were fully clothed. We were all in sweats each time, honestly, or shorts, one of those.
Well, to me, it doesn't seem. It seems less. It doesn't seem to me more like sexual pleasure as much as like the intimates of the soul.
Yeah, so that's the real beauty part of BDSM. When you are with a partner that you completely trust, okay? Because I mean, you have to have a partner that you trust completely to even do BDSM. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a submissive, you're giving all your power to your partner. You can't have a partner that you don't trust
'Cause you're
wholeheartedly.
vulnerable.
Exactly. You're trusting your partner to know your body signs,
Yeah.
to know what you want, to then to get you there, to push your limits but not go completely overboard.
You know what?
So
There's been like pictures and videos surfacing about like whoever the submissive is. Typically, it's a woman that I see. Have rarely ever seen a male submissive unless it's in the same sex type of situation. But pictures with the woman being bound and gagged with a gag ball, and that has been used in these sexually sadistic murders, these lust murders. And I think that's like some of one. I know that's one of the things that get crossed. And so when you're seeing an image like that, it makes you think of it in a negative way. You can't see the
Right.
art in it. You see
Right.
the helplessness in there, and the fear and the worry and all that, and that's what kind of makes me. It made me like not want to participate in anything that included that. Like even in video games, everybody role plays. It was certain people talk that there's sexual role plays and regular role plays, and I don't want to do any kind of erotic role plays because of the negative connotations added onto the BDSM community.
Right.
And I still wouldn't do that because it's just not me. But
It's not everybody. And like I said, like if you want to try just a little light BDSM, which is spanking.
okay,
Spanking of different things. Okay. So it could be a leather crop. It could be
we just
so
have,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Leather crops, okay, they actually don't hurt.
but it's
They
leather.
do they don't hurt. Think about it, it's in your bum, okay? But and there's also when I say whips, I'm not talking like big whips that like cause you bodily harm. Okay. There are people that use those. Those are the extreme people, the like that's what gets them off and that's on them. But personally, when I say whips, it could be just a feathery whip. You know what I'm saying? Just full of feathers. But the sense the like all your senses are heightened. When you are blindfolded, you are now entrusting your feel, like anything that crosses your skin, your hands, whatever you touch and whatever you feel, along with like your nose and your smell and your taste. Okay.
I'm trying to see how that. I don't.
So all those are heightened because if you think about it, if you're not blindfolded, the first thing you see is a crop. When you see a crop, a leather crop, your brain goes off. No, hell no, that's not fixing to touch me, right?
But when you're blindfolded, you don't
But
know.
when you're blindfolded, the first thing that they will do is brush it against your hand, not whip you with it, but brush you with it. You don't know what it is.
So and that's like that tickling sensation. So
Exactly.
those sensations. Okay, I kind of can get it.
Okay. So, and sometimes when someone is super scared of being blindfolded, they won't go for full on blind. It could be something sheer where it won't fully cover like it won't fully cover your sight, but it will cover enough to where you can't see like a certain item or like can't identify what an item is. If you're in a dimly lit room, but you can see a person moving, you can see where the doors are at least. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
they'll start off with something like that.
Interesting.
So like the feathery whips, like I said, these don't hurt. If you have a partner that you completely trust, those don't hurt. But here's also like another thing. You cannot just have a person that is like, oh well, I like spanking, so I guess I'm gonna be the dominant. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like a dominant is trained to see what works, what doesn't, gives you enough or give you full pleasure. So their whole goal is to get you off in ways that you didn't think could get off. You could get off with a spanking and never have insert of anything in you. You can get off fully clothed if you think about it. But they also require your full trust. That's why I said get you a partner that you said if you are single and you're looking for a partner, okay, the real dominant person, and this is how you can distinguish from a fake dominant that's like, oh yeah, I can do that, I can whatever, to a full on real dominant that is there for you and you only, is they will sit down with you before anything else. They will find out your likes, your dislikes, find out what your hard limits are, but they will not immediately go into your hard limits in the first conversation.
Guys, I linked in the comment section a little overview about sadism so you can get an understanding of the different kinds of sadism and in what context that they're used, so you don't get confused when in our future cases we do mention the word sadism. I know that a lot of people that don't truly understand that, when they hear that word, they're on the far left. So I want you to educate yourself on the different types of sadism, so when we do bring this up in the future, you're not in a situation of miseducation, which can be portrayed as ignorance. So we don't want you to have that. We want you to have full knowledge so you can understand and you can get that. In any case that we present, we are not promoting the lust murder that y'all confuse with BDSM. Okay.
Yeah, just don't join those two together. Like it makes the BDSM community look really bad, and it scares a lot of people off
Yeah.
when you should actually be exploring your sexuality. You should not be ashamed of your sexuality. You should not be ashamed to like being whipped or bound or even gagged. A lot of people, believe it or not, don't like being gagged. Now, here's the thing about gag. Real dominance will give you a bell. Because you have safe words, the bell is the safe word when you are gagged. They will not ever bound anything else to where you cannot ring a bell when you have a gag.
I wanted to mention to you, because you're giving a lot of information on the BDSM community and why it should not be portrayed in a certain way. But the thing is, we are taught from as young as we can remember by family members that are strong in their religious values, the negativity of exploring ourselves. So we shut ourselves off to ourselves and we close ourselves down. And that leaves us wondering who we really are. And we get afraid to explore our sexuality. But guys, no religion should hold you down. And just so you know, religion is man-made. We created that. We can control that. So
I can almost guarantee you, almost 100% of those people judging you
do it
have
work,
done it.
especially in the Catholic community. But anyway, we're not
We're
going to
not
talk
going to
about
talk about that because I was born Catholic.
I know we're not going to talk about that, but I just want you all to know that sexuality is a part of who you are, and you were created to be a sexual individual, but you are not created to misuse your sexuality and your sexual abilities against other people. You're not created to rape or molest or do sadistic murdering and using sex as that way. That's not what you're created for. But you
No.
are created. You are created to be a very sexual being because we are created to create. So
And then I've been talking a lot about like one end of BDSM, but the dominant guy, if you guys find yourself to be a dominant, if you find yourself more at that end, like don't be scared because of a lot of these crimes.
yeah,
These people claim to be quote unquote dominant. Don't be scared to be one because that's on
yeah,
you. You
you
have a
know,
choice. You can either be that really good dominant that knows how to read body language, because believe it or not, reading body language goes a long way.
yeah.
Like it goes a long way. So it doesn't even have to amount to sex. Like I said, just reading body language and reading how somebody reacts to certain things,
Mhm.
not it can. it can help you in the real world,
Yeah,
honestly.
those are very good tools to use just to be able to understand, to discern when someone's uncomfortable or when they are really comfortable. You
Yeah,
have to show
because
that.
what if someone actually needs help and you're like reading body language, like, wait a minute, this is,
Yeah.
this is not right. Like I've known several dominants that had to cancel scenes, had to step in themselves because they've seen submissives or subs very uncomfortable and very
Yeah.
awkward. But these, I call them new dominants because you're whatever, like trainees basically.
Mhm.
Um, they want a lot of these, they want to try new things. They want to go ahead and immediately start from whipping somebody, and
Yeah.
that's not how it goes. Like you
I think
slowly
that's
you slowly build up to it.
it's the like how she was saying um about the dominance and things, dominant getting the wrong name. Think about that when you're presented a case and the killer is claiming their dominance. Think about the murders that are committed in the quote unquote name of religion. So that doesn't turn you away
Yeah,
from religion, so that should not turn you away from exploring your dominant side or your submissive side. You should definitely explore, just like, you say, just because they said they're killing for God, that's giving Christianity a bad name. So let's change that narrative. It's the same for the BDSM. Change that narrative. It's all, I can kill right
it just
now.
all depends on that person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. For right now, and just put it in the name of this fudge chocolate chip brownie telling me to kill. And it's just people are just calling. It's not a true thing. Most of these serial killers, 98.9% of them have some sort of mental disorder going on with them. So
yeah.
don't.
Something happened in their childhood, or
Yeah,
they were born with some abnormality.
yeah. So
You
don't let
know,
that dissuade you.
so it's just you cannot think of when you're reading these crime stories. We have to ourselves. We actually take a step back and like we think, okay, that's just a bad seed in that whole community, whether it's religious, whether it's a sexual community, whether it's like anything. It's we just consider them a bad seed.
Like that goes back to the case I had with my double feature with the Bible John. He was committing murders and committing rapes because he felt like these women were sinners. Uh, and I said specifically that I did not believe that those murders were sexually motivated just because they were raped. That to me, it wasn't, the murders weren't about the rape. So you have to think about that. You have to discern when you're presented a case like that and there is um, sex involved. You have to be able to discern whether or not it's truly about the sex or not. Because sometimes sex is in there as a message, or it's in there. It's a different. It's not the motivation. So, like with Bible John, he was so ironically given that name because he felt like he was inferior and that he felt like he was the one to let you know how your sin is and punish you for your sin.
Yeah, he thought that he could save these
Yeah.
women from what
And
from the sins that they were doing.
that gives religion a bad name. That gives the sexual community, any kind of sexual community, a bad name. That gives everything that you think of a bad name, just because that's how he was feeling. He
Because I
felt
mean, think about it. There, if you, a lot of people, if they think of Catholics, what did they think of? Catholic schoolgirls that go out and have sex all the time. They
because
think
they have a
of
daddy
they
complex.
think of these
The popes being
the
rapist.
popes, raping young boys,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that's not. I know plenty of Catholics. I know I've been to many Catholic churches that have nowhere near that kind of stuff going on. They're very charity based. They're
So
into
what?
making sure that these kids are educated, and and they help out. The same thing with Christians. Like, Christians have this bad name of shunning every single thing out, because that's a lot of them. I'm not going to say very few of them, but some
Majority of Christians
do.
the
But
bad
there
name.
are some that don't. There's some that love everybody just how they are and would never wish harm on them. So it just all depends. You can't um group that one bad seed to everybody. You really can't.
That goes for anything, honestly. That's just like with racism. You can't group a whole entire race because of what one person did. So you can't be racist against an entire race because of that one person. That goes for every single thing. You can't just knock off, say you don't like one basketball player, so screw the whole basketball thing. It doesn't work like that. So think about that when we present these cases. A lot of them have a lot of sexual stuff going on, but that does not mean that you should stop exploring who you are and your sexuality and figuring that out. You're not going to become a murderer because you like bondage. Okay?
And now we also know that if you have had bad sexual experiences before, it could really do damage to your mentality, and that's okay. It's completely okay to be like, well, I'm scared to do this, or taking your time to fully explore what you want,
Yeah.
essentially. So it's completely okay. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to, just because it's quote unquote cool or
Trendy. Yeah.
trendy. You don't If you don't like a certain thing, it's okay. If you like just missionary boom bam, get it over with, good for
That's
you.
fine. There's
That's
another thing I wanted to make light onto what she was saying. Um, Men and women that have had experienced sexual abuse in the past, no matter the extent, if it's just touching or full on rape, I want you to note it is okay to still enjoy sex. It does not make you a bad person.
hmm
You can still enjoy sex, and not everybody is like that one person that did that to you. So yeah, there's going to be some PTSD, and there's going to be some things, some sexual contact that gives you a flash, but the whole entire sexual experience does not have to be based around that. And I'm saying this from experience. It is okay to let it go and to trust your partner won't do that to you. And you have to be vocal, just like in every other aspect of your life. You have to speak those things. So if something comes up to you and it scares you, let your partner know, hey, let's try something different because I can't do this, but I still want to engage in a different way. And not all intimacy has to be sexual. You can get,
No,
you can get sexual release from not even having sex. So
this is very true, you guys.
that's why it's very important to explore yourself for yourself, not for anybody else. And just because somebody else doesn't like something does not mean that you need to just knock it. Explore yourself the way you can be satisfied and be
And
in.
don't think just because your partner feels like, or you feel like your partner wants, certain things, just don't don't push yourself to do something just because your partner wants to do it. It has to be both mutually agreed on. You, as a partner, you have to explore things together.
Yeah.
And if they are more experienced in whatever you're trying to explore, their job is to slowly ease you into it,
And help
to
you
get
grow.
back to
Yeah.
get back to your level and go up together and experience it together. And it's okay to tell your partner no. It's okay to be like, oh, well, no, this is not happening. And then you find out, maybe that partner's not for you. And
Right.
that's okay. That's completely okay. If they don't pleasure you mentally
There is no,
along with physically,
yeah, or intimately. Um, One of the the biggest things is intimacy. There's levels of intimacy. You cannot truly experience intimacy unless you're comfortable. So you have to build your level of comfort, and comfort is most important over intimacy. If there's no comfort, there's nothing else. There's no point of having this encounter. So, comfort is the most important thing. Get comfortable, then build the intimacy, then build to that sexuality if you need to. But comfortable, that is the most important thing in all the situations. Just to
and guys, we're not talking about the comfortable where you just don't care, like you've just gotten so used to being in that relationship that
don't
you just don't
feel
care anymore. That's not that comfortable.
that's just
It's where you can feel emotionally secure
stable.
and trust, where like you fully 100% without a doubt trust your partner.
Yeah.
That's the comfortable that we want you guys to be in. If there's even a slither of doubt,
Do
you
you
know
need to get back? Yeah.
then you need to, it's we're not telling you to immediately break it off just because there's a slither. You may have been still getting to know each other, but it's, eventually we hope that everybody gets to that point. And if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you can't escape,
Yeah.
whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, if you feel like you cannot escape, you can. Okay, we will let you know you can.
That's
And
always the way. Yeah.
if you guys are listening to this podcast, we have our email up. It's completely anonymous. It's just between me and Amber. Definitely email us.
Definitely.
You
We
know,
don't always have the perfect things to say, but we definitely will say something. We definitely will listen. And if
we
no
will help as best as we can to either get you help, research to get you help, whether you are female or male, just to
yeah,
get it out there. If there's many guys out there that are abused
and they don't speak on it
and
because they're
they
afraid of
don't speak on it,
yeah.
definitely
But
speak on it.
I want you all to know that I understand if you feel like no one understands you, but more than anyone, I understand you. I do. So don't be afraid to reach out. And like I said, I don't have the perfect words, but I do have words, and I'm always here. Always.
Yeah,
Don't.
definitely. Like we will leave our email out again, but to our anchor listeners, yeah, definitely put it in our description what our email is. Um, but definitely email us. Seek help if you feel like you can't get out of it. If you just need someone to talk to have a third party, because sometimes you're in a position where you can't really talk to friends and family because they're biased. It's
Mhm.
either they're on your side because they're closest to you, or they're on your partner's side because they're closest to them. Whatever. If you need a third party, just to listen to, not really just talk, just to listen to, definitely, you know, let us know. There's a good
Mm.
community backing on
But
that.
with that being said, do not play on our line. Don't email us if you're not serious. Don't play
Yeah.
with them because the moment you hit that send button and it comes to us, it is 100% serious, and we care about you.
Especially if you're talking about you can't escape a serious relationship, we are definitely will be calling
We will be
authorities.
serious, so don't play with us. Don't do that. If contact us if you're really ready, because we're ready all the time. So don't play with us. Don't if you're unsure, It's not right. It's not the time. And don't email us with anything other than what we're telling you to email us about. It's about cases or you're being sexually or physically abused. Don't email us with anything else. Don't disrespect us because we're both married women. So don't come in our inboxes or in our email with any other intention other than getting help. Because you'll be shut down. Don't play with us.
Or giving us cases.
Yeah. Do not. And I'm
Which,
saying,
by the way, guys, we're not taking cases right
we're
now.
not.
We
I
are
have 200 cases.
completely
We're
booked.
booked. Like we
We
can,
can't research anymore. We really can't. We will research maybe 10 at a time just so we can be ahead of ourselves. But we have plenty of names that we have not researched yet because
I
we have
think
not even caught up on the ones that we have researched.
we're booked for the next year. We got plenty of seasons for you, so you're gonna see us for a while. So
Yeah.
at this point, don't even email us about a case. So, but I'm saying this as a
But if you're
mom.
giving us
Never watch
information on past cases, yeah, definitely. Like
because
if we've missed
every
something on a past case, or you've seen an article on a past case
let
that
us
is like recent or you thought was interesting, that we didn't mention, definitely, yeah. Because I
and
mean,
that's
we're down to know more.
yeah, Sundays are for us to recap and go over stuff that we missed in cases. So definitely, we are open to that. But I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna say this again. Don't play with us, because I'll come to the screen and I'll whoop you. Are you? Yeah, I'm playing.
I'll let her borrow one of my whips. Wink, wink. I really don't have any whips. I hardly do.
Wink, wink, wink twice
I
if you're
don't. I
lying.
really. I really don't have. I really don't have the whips. I
Wink
used
twice
to.
if you're lying.
Believe it or not, I used to have bed straps, but
All right, we're gonna have to have a conversation after this. Go to my room. We gotta
but
meet.
we're not, but we're not talking about this. Oh, but I will show you guys real quick these beautifully homemade rolled egg rolls right here. Oh, okay, camera angle is so bad. Right here, I still got this much left, and they're thin, by the way.
She's making me 250 egg rolls.
That's a dang lie. I'm maybe giving her like 10.
That's a lie. Oh, that is a damn lie.
She doesn't.
No, you don't know. Like I told them, I come through the screen and I will beat it. It's a damn lie. You send me 10 if you want to. See what happens.
Oh, definitely. I'm sending her 10 then.
Oh, we'll go live. Y'all want to see a nigga ass be on live? Cause what happened?
Yeah, I'm down too.
What happened? Now I gotta get back to my clean living room over here. I gotta go play on this grand piano somewhere in the back. Right there. I gotta go get on this.
And it just so happened to be daylight at 10:44 p.m. You guys, the sun is
Yes.
shining brightly over there.
And I play Mozart over there with that Beethoven over there. It's
Oh my
always
gosh.
sunny where I'm at. What did they say? It's always sunny in
So
Philadelphia. It's always sunny at Amber's house.
we with that being said, you guys, we hope this is somewhat informative along with a story time that shall never be told again after this point.
Baby, this will be on YouTube. Thank you. This
So
will be around forever.
but we hope you guys stay safe. We hope you guys have a great, fantastic week. We will see you guys back here on Tuesday for my solved case and Amber's pixelated ass on Thursday.
I'm not
And
pixelated.
it may be in her. She may be in her clean living room. She may be in the brick wall. Who knows? We will see where she's at on Thursday. But we will definitely see you guys back here on Tuesday
I'm not
for
pixelated.
another
I'm clear on my end. I don't like that. That makes me not fair.
I don't know what she just said because she's pixelated on my end.
Oh my god. I have a picture of Thursday that's a double feature.
Oh, okay. Well, she has a double feature on Thursday. But I definitely have something for you guys on Tuesday. So we'll see you guys back here on Tuesday. We hope you guys have a fantastic week again. Stay safe, stay humble, stay cool. Email us for any past cases, or if you need, help that's not financial help, because y'all's favorite podcasters are struggling ourselves.
Yeah, don't judge me by my living room.
so so we will see you guys here on Tuesday. This is Double A
Signing out.
Bye, you guys.